Welcome back, Kacy, to the Joyride podcast. Back by popular demand. You know, so many people were like, I love the episode with your friend Kacy.
I love to hear it. I'm happy to be back.
Yes, so she's back. I didn't know that you were going to be back this soon on.
I'm just sitting here with a giant smile.
But we're ready.
We're ready to go.
We're back in action. So today I figured we had talked about this on the last podcast episode that I'd done Kacy's reading for her. When did we do it? It must have been almost a year ago.
I would say about a year ago. It felt like it was during the summer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was. It probably was right when I was done with my course. Yes. And I was like, let's do a reading. So yeah. I wanted to do like a reading part 2 with her for not only for her to kind of just get like a refresh and like it's, I don't know, I'm excited to do it now because obviously I have done so many more readings.
Yes.
And when I did my reading with you, I was such a newbie and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. So now I have so much more knowledge about human design and just like how I can utilize my intuitive gifts while I'm doing a reading. But also, this is kind of going to be really great for you guys because you get to see what kind of happens during my initial human design chart readings that I do with people. But then also we're infusing a little bit of like a clarity session because obviously Kacy already knows. She knows a lot about human design by now. So we'll go over a lot of like the very foundational aspects of her chart, like what the generator means and her profile and, you know, stuff like that. But we'll also dive a little bit deeper into aspects that I probably wouldn't go over on my first session with someone, but because she already has a lot of knowledge.
We'll go a little deeper.
We're going to go a little deeper. So I'm excited. And as much as I, you know, have brought up human design here and there on these podcasts, I'm excited to have this whole podcast really like revolved around what I do. Yeah. Because this is my shit.
It's cool to be in it and see what really goes down.
Yeah. So let me bring up Kacy's chart. So I'll probably do a whole other episode where I'm just going over like the basic terminology of human design. Because if I were to do that in this podcast episode,
it would be a whole episode.
Yeah, we would be here for a long ass fucking time. So we're just going to go over some of her main kind of like the big 3. I like to think of it like your big 3 in astrology. This is kind of like the big 3 in human design. So we've got your energy type, which is basically your aura. When people first meet you, we've got your authority, which is the way that you make decisions. And then we've got your profile. So Kacy is a generator, which is the most common energy type. Her authority is an emotional, so she makes decisions based off of what her emotions are telling her. And her profile is the 5-1. So why don't we start with kind of like what not only what are your favorite aspects of the generator energy type, but maybe like out of everything that I've shared with you, what are the things that have really stuck out to you the most? And I'll kind of like fill in the gaps.
Yeah. So a generator, I mean, is literally the, you know, what comes to mind when you hear the word generator. So this person's generating energy and, you know, being that person for other people, which I definitely resonate with.
Yes.
My husband's also a generator, and I feel like the two of us together, like, we are those people. Like, I'm like, you know, in the right area, the right environment, I'm like, yeah, we could be the life of the party. Like, we bring energy to our friends. We light them up. We're happy people. We're positive. So I feel like that's like, you know, a generator, just, you know, like yours for your house. It's just bringing you energy. It's like keeping you alive. So lighting the people up that are around us and also using that to light up myself.
Yes, love that. I'll throw in a few extra things about the generator energy type. So I think the number one most important thing for people to remember, which a lot of you listening to this, I know because 70% of the collective fall under either the generator category or the manifesting generator category. If you are a manifesting generator, just know that you are a generator predominantly, but you have very strong manifestor tendencies. So when you're an energy being, which is what you are, if you are a generator or an MG, you can not only create energy for yourself, but you can create and sustain that energy for other people. So you just mentioned like me and my husband, like anywhere we go, When you think about what like the generator definition is, you're generating energy. So just know that when it comes to like you and the people in your life, you are not only creating energy for yourself, but for everyone else around you. Now, with all of this being said, and we talked about this with my first episode with Kacy, is what can happen is when you are this like life force, like I bring the energy to every atmosphere that I go to type of energy, people want some of that energy for themselves, which is great because we have to remember that people feed off of our energy, like especially the projectors. Like I think about Dallas and our friend group.
Yes.
Like he's a projector and he definitely feeds off of all of us.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
He really does.
2 generators.
Yes.
I'm a manifesting generator and he's a projector. So like they need us to give them energy in a sense because they just can't harness that energy all on their own. But when people see you going and doing, because you are the hustlers, you are the worker bees, you are the people that can keep on generating this energy and going, they want to use that for themselves. And that's when the people pleasing tendencies come into play. And something that I say like all the time with your husband, like literally right before we started recording this episode, I'm like, oh, I need to be picked up at the airport Friday night, which Matt always does. Again, we talked about this on the first episode. All the time with your husband, I'm like, Matt, if you don't want to do this, just tell me no.
Literally me this morning. And that's, so bringing it back to the first question of, you know, really what stands out. What have I kept from our first session? And this is always what I say is that as a generator, you need to follow what excites you and say yes to the things you really feel pulled towards and say no to the things that do not align with you.
Yes.
And today I said that to Matthew. I don't know what we were even talking about. Oh, I asked him something and he said, yeah, sure. And I said, is it a yes or is it a no?
Yeah.
I said, you're a generator, Matthew, like me, and we need to, it is either hell yes or abso-fucking-lutely not. So tell me. And he's like, okay, Kacy, abso-fucking-lutely hell yes. I was like, thank you. That's what we need.
Yeah, so the generator, when it comes to making decisions, because your strategy, which is the way that you make things happen for yourself in your life, is to respond. So always responding to life. The sacral center, which is because you have the center lit up in your human design chart, is what makes you a generator. So the sacral center really only operates off of black and white, yes or no. Now, as I've done so many of these readings, I've gotten a lot of like questions like, okay, but what if it's not exactly a no? And I'm like, okay, sit with yourself and think like, does something or someone come across your path and you're here to respond? So is it an immediate hell yes? Oh my God, I'm feeling this like pull to go and do it. If it is a yes, fuck yeah, go and do it. Like, don't get your mind involved. Don't try to think about like why I want to go do it. Your body is just giving you a yes feeling of why I want to go do it. Now, some things like I'm a generator, so there's a lot of things that have come into my life where I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's not like it's not a yes, but it's not exactly a no. And I kind of put that in another pile. I'm like, this may be a yes eventually. Yeah. But right now it's a no. So that still is going into the no pile. Like I really try my hardest for every person or opportunity, like, which pile is it in? Yes or no? Yeah. And if it's a no, even if it's like, yes, this feels like the right thing to do, like even this podcast, I wanted to do it for years and years and years. I knew that it wasn't the right time. So technically it was a no. Yeah.
And it can become a yes.
Yeah.
But if you're really not feeling pulled towards it, then no.
Yeah.
Like because I think that is what it is, you know, trusting yourself, sitting with yourself. Obviously everything is not black and white. So you need to be in tune to have that faith in yourself to be like, okay, if I'm not really feeling pulled towards it at the moment right now, it's just a no. Yeah. It's not working.
Exactly.
So just leave it as it is.
Yeah. And it just all goes back to, as a generator, like easiest job in the world, you are just here to respond. So a lot of times I have spoken to a lot of generators very close to me in my life, clients who are just like, what's the next thing? Even you've said this to me before. Yeah. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm just like feeling bored. I'm feeling blah. I don't know what it is I want to do. And I'm like, you just need to keep on showing up, giving yourself that space, which is something that I consistently tell generators. I'm like, you need to always be taking inventory of your energy. Sit down with yourself. If you don't want to do this once a month, okay, whatever. Like, I would recommend to someone do it once a week because you want to stay very consciously on top of this. Like, where am I spending my money? Who am I spending my weekends with?
Yes.
Who am I spending my time with after work? Like, what am I eating? It's like you need to really sit there and consciously think about what am I responding and saying yes to, because you very easily may be continuously be putting things onto your plate that are a half-ass no, and it is leaving you no space in your life to respond to something new.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, completely. I mean, literally, it's funny because Matthew and I sat down this morning and had a conversation pretty much about all of this. And, you know, I think that that's something, okay, we're both generators. We're both obviously around each other all the time. He's my husband. And I think I've gotten to a good point of knowing what I want to say yes to and what I feel is a no. I'm not going to involve myself in. Whereas Matt, I think that's something he still needs to work on, is creating that space for himself to say no, because he does not ever say no to anyone. And I think that he loves being that person that brings energy to other people. That this morning we had a conversation where I was like, we need to be more intentional with each other and our time, because we are so focused on making sure all of our friends are included, or we're doing something, or, you know, are we all getting breakfast? What are we doing? That's what happened this morning. Matt's like, I'm like, what about me? What about us? I'm like,
yeah.
When is our time for just the two of us? So it's like, okay, how can we be intentional about the conversations we have with each other? The conversations we're having just you and I, the conversations we have with our roommate, who's also one of our best friends. It's like, you know, there's different levels to this. Not everyone has to be included. So you need to create that space, have that boundary to be like, okay, let me take a step back. What do I feel? What do I need to do today? And having that. And it's true. I mean, you and I all the time at Denver weekend. Okay, what'd you do over the weekend?
Yeah.
How was it? How are you feeling? Okay, I didn't feel great during the week. Well, I had a great weekend.
Oh, I'm evaluating everything in my life. I can't tell you how many times I just sit down and I know all this stuff, but sometimes I just write down, like, what do I like about my life right now? What do I not?
Yeah.
What are my pros? What are my cons? Because you really have to, like, sit there and think about it. If I'm continuously saying no to stuff, again, you're not opening yourself up to receiving any of those, like, fuck yeah, this is freaking amazing yeses, which is, like, the best thing about life. I mean, my favorite thing about life is when someone comes across my path or some opportunity and I'm like, fuck yeah, I feel this in every ounce of my being that, like, I have to go for this. I wouldn't be able to have that experience if my vision was just, like, foggy with all of these, like, half-assed, like, sure, I'm going to keep this job because it pays the bills, but I really hate it. Or sure, I'm going to keep this friend just because they've been in my life for 12 years. It's like, let the shit go.
Yes.
It's a no.
All the time. You have to create the space for the good things to come. Otherwise, you're not going to. I mean, we talk about this all the time. Like clothes. Like, get rid of, you want new clothes? Get rid of your clothes. Get rid of some analogy. Stuff. Get rid of it. I mean, even, okay, I've done, you know, recently, okay, went through my closet, put the stuff I need to get rid of. Okay, well, it's sitting in our extra bedroom. So literally this morning, I was like, okay, that's my next step, is now it needs to get out of my house. You're in my, you know, got you out of my closet.
Yeah, you're
now
in my energy.
Yeah, get out of my life. You're done.
Yeah.
Close that. Leave space for new clothes to come. I'm not going to find them. There's no room in the closet. There's no hangers left.
Yeah. I think that's
why.
Where
can the guests come from? It can't get in.
No, it can't. I think that's why I'm looking around at my apartment right now. It's so open and, like, there's, I'm not a hoarder. I don't have a lot of things because I like to have open space.
Yes.
So
new things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in a nutshell, that's a generator energy. One last thing I want to mention is this woman that I used to work for, actually before I started up this business, came to my masterclass that I had Monday night at Soho House.
Which was fabulous.
Thank you so much. Kacy was there. She was great. Helped me out so much, my little stage mom.
Yes.
And she told me afterwards that she asked her husband, who I used to work for as well. She's like, I now ask him, like, does this make him frustrated? Because that is a not self of a generator. It's like, I'm putting all this energy towards something, but I'm feeling frustrated because it's just not working out. Or am I feeling satisfied?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love that.
Frustrated or satisfied. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I also think that's my frustration is.
Yeah.
What is it? Something in my chart.
Yeah. So your not self as a generator is frustration. And then your signature is feeling satisfied.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel satisfied with what I'm pouring my heart, energy, and soul into, basically. Yes. So that's a generator. I could talk for like an hour about the generator type, but we have to move on. So
I need more.
Next thing that we'll go over is Kacy's authority, which is she is an emotional authority, as I am as well. And I want us to bring this up because you had mentioned it the other day about us when it comes to our emotions and like how we are as adults and how we are as a kid. So Kacy was saying how like as a kid she was like overly emotional, would cry all the time, do all this stuff. And I've mentioned on several podcast episodes that I used to be like very closed off to showing my emotions, where a lot of my family members especially thought that I just like didn't give a fuck about them, which and obviously they didn't, but you know.
I just think it's funny because, you know, okay, I think that's a big maybe misconception about human design is, well, for the most part, I see Rebecca sharing about human design. So, for example, okay, at the masterclass, Rebecca shares things and people are like, well, what if I don't feel connected to that? What if I don't feel this? And it's like, no, that's the whole point of it, is you're not going to feel the same as anyone else. So just because we're both emotional people, okay, we still handle things completely different. We still, you know, harness those emotions differently. So, you know, okay, growing up, Rebecca seems like this cold bitch who has no feelings because she's emotional on the inside, whereas I was this like overly dramatic crybaby because I cried about everything.
Yeah.
And then we grow up and here we are and we know how to harness our emotions now and we are who we are,
and we still process emotions very differently. And I think this is what people don't understand is like they come to see me for a reading and I've gotten so much better. I used to, and it's still hard for me because I was actually DMing a client that I've worked with before, and she was like, you know, we're just always going to be an oversharer and an overgiver. And I'm like, it is still hard for me sometimes when that hour time limit stops. I'm like, okay, but I still have 56 things that I want to go over. But I'm like, you know, I say this prayer every time I have a session. I'm like, whatever needs to come through me in the session will come through.
Yeah.
And that's just like, it is what it is. Now I lost my train of thought and I totally don't know what I was going to say.
Well, I'll finish that one off with like, there's just never enough time to, there's always more work to be done. So whether you're working on yourself or you're helping someone work on themselves, like it can always go deeper. The conversation can always move further, and it's really how much you allow it to as well. So, okay, you know, okay, Kacy, you have an emotional authority. Rebecca, you have an emotional authority. Okay, call it a day. Done. Yeah, cool. I feel emotions. Or we can sit here for hours dissecting that and really seeing like, where is this coming from? Where does it come through? How does it present itself? So it's always going to go deeper. Like then that's really what's cool about it, is like there's always more to learn
about
yourself. There's always more connections to be made.
Yeah.
But it's just not black.
It's not a one size fits all.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I was going to say when I lost my train of thought, because this just happens when we get together. It's like I have 56 thoughts in my head at once.
And it just all comes out.
Yeah. So in human design, when I meet with you and like my first session is all about like, okay, we're going to go over the foundational aspects of your chart and I'm going to like intuitively see what you need, you know, for me to share and shed clarity on, is we have to look at, okay, like what gifts are lit up in your emotional center? Like how do you go ahead and process emotions? Because just like you said, the way that yes, we're both emotionals, but like the way that we process emotions is so differently. The way that our voice, you know, expresses emotions is so differently. Like I have a defined throat. You don't. Like I have like one of my strongest channels is my emotional channel. Like you have a completely different channel. And like there are so many different things that you can look at in the chart that are like so nuanced, and like pull an astrology here. Yes. Like my moon is in Gemini. Your moon is in Leo, right? Yeah. So it's like there are just so many things that come into play where like when I'm sitting here in session with you talking about being an emotional authority and how when it comes to making your decisions in your life, you are on your own emotional wave. So like 1 minute you're high, 1 minute you're low, you're all over the place. You need to buy yourself as much time as humanly possible to get to this resting equilibrium state where like, okay, I have clarity, I'm ready to make a decision. But that process is going to look so different for everyone. Yeah. How you express your emotions, how you process through your emotions. Some people do that through crying, through speech, through movement, through like, it is just such a different process for everyone. But we all fall under the same blanket of we're emotionals, and we're just the lucky ones that get to feel every single emotion in our body 50 times deeper, which we do. You know?
We do. And that's it.
Yeah.
There's just always more to be.
There's always more
talked about.
And that's why, as much as I like truly love to share this information, like
it's hard
to get everything across. And also like,
and there's so many questions. I mean, as being the person who's like sitting there, it's like, you want to share all the connections you're making as you're going through this chart reading, but you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm telling you this story about something, but that happened to me years ago, and now I feel so aligned. I feel that my feelings are affirmed. Okay, but now where do we take this? Like, how am I going to use this information that I now have to continue to live my life, to level up, to do all these things? Like, there's just so much to all of this, and there's so many ways human design can be implemented into your life, whether it be healing your past, moving forward into the future. There's just so much conversation to be had, connections to be made.
And that's the beauty of working
with someone.
Yes. Long-term, shameless plug for my mentorship program. Yep. And this is literally why, like, I love to have chart readings with people, but like the true beauty for me is like getting to experience like you just time after time when we meet, and just like you becoming so much more in tune and connected with yourself. Like, yes, you're going to walk away from a session learning incredible knowledge about yourself, but it's like, okay, how do I actually implement this in the best way for me in my life? So it just takes time, and it takes work to really, really get to know yourself. Something that I do want to mention that we both have, that I didn't realize that you have this, but
share.
You have 2 gifts coming from your emotional center.
Okay.
49 being the gift of altruism. So being altruistic is literally, the definition is the selfless concern for others, which we'll get into this channel specifically. But one that I want to talk about is gift 22. It's called the gift of grace, which I didn't realize that you have this gift, because I have it too. So when I was talking about earlier how, yes, we are both emotionals, but it's like, how do we actually showcase these emotions and process these emotions? The gift of grace is kind of like, you can walk into any room, and especially as an emotional, you can be going through the shit that day. Like, you can just be having the worst day ever. Like, I cried in the morning. I'm feeling so low. Like, I'm just on a very, like, low part of my emotional wave. The gift of grace is like, you just walk in, you have this cover of grace over you. So it's kind of like, you can be very graceful, very charming, very witty, very charismatic. Like, and I didn't realize that you had this gift, but I'm like, oh, I feel like that's something that because I have this gift too. We can walk into places and be feeling like absolute shit, but it's like, I can turn it on.
Yeah, no one would know.
And people would never know.
Yeah,
or it's
I can see that in both of us, for sure.
It's almost, I kind of attribute this gift to like, it's kind of like you appear like you have your shit together to other people. Yes. So many people, oh my gosh, when I share on my stories, they're like, and people have told me time and time again, year after year, of like, you just look like you have everything put together. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That is so funny. I mean, literally, I went and Matt got a promotion, so I went and met up with all of his coworkers, and I'd never met any of them before. And I mean, as you know, as we've shared, Matthew loves to talk about his wife, which is the sweetest thing ever. We love that about him. Like, talk me up, boo. Love you. So Matthew never goes out to happy hour with his coworkers. He's like, I'm going to come out with you guys. They're like, oh my God, so hype. I was like, I'll come meet you, because Matt and I were going out to dinner to celebrate after. And they're like, Kacy's coming. Oh my God. I walk into this room. They're like, so do you and Matt really have like your whole life figured out? Like, you guys just really have it all put together? And I looked at Matt and I said, no, it's all a facade. Like, you're joking, right?
Yes, this gift is kind of a facade.
And I mean, they're all like, well, you guys have your budget and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't have all my shit together. But if y'all want to believe that for me, please, thank you. I appreciate it.
For
I love that that's what I give off. But no, I absolutely have nothing together.
Yeah.
But I love that about, that's something I love about myself. Is like, I like that when I maybe like first meet people, a first impression, like people really don't know who I am. Yeah. Which I kind of like.
Yeah.
Because then you get to see, okay, how do you see me?
Yeah.
You know, exactly. What kind of day did you get me on? I mean, when you first just said that, like, it's a great, like, I think of teaching. And, like, having that trait as a teacher, I feel is really important, because you're, you know, being the best version of yourself, no matter what you are going through. You have 22 children to show up for. Yeah. And God knows what they have gone through. Yeah. So I could definitely see that. Yeah. And just, you know, I think it's cute that it's called Grace and Charm, because I also see it as, like, being really strong people. Yeah. You know, it's like, okay, although
we're going through it.
through it. Like, you need to, like, we are the people who, you know, through it all, we're still showing up for our people. We're still being who we need to be in that moment.
Yeah. It's something that having this gift, I have to constantly remind myself, because I know that like I have a 6 in my profile, which we'll talk about profile next. 6 is I'm a 6'2", which is literally the exemplary human. And I'm like, I just know that a lot of times I give off this vibe of like the perfectionist and like I do everything right. So I try my very, very hardest to show up it's also like the gifts that I just innately can access within myself, and I choose to express that. I try to make it very clear on social media that like, okay, it may seem like I appear this way, but like I'm figuring it the fuck out. And like every day I'm sitting here as a solo business owner, like, how am I going to do this? What the fuck's going on? So it's like, I think it's not, again, it all comes back to like, I love that I now know this is how people perceive me.
Yes.
But it's like, I also, does that make sense? It's like, I want to show up and show people like, okay, even if I come off as like, here's Rebecca and she's perfect. Human. And you know, when people tell me all the time, it's like, you're fucking killing it in your job. And I'm like, I'm really glad that it looks that way, but like every day is a fucking battle, and I'm trying my very hardest to do everything that I can. Even when you came over here today, I'm like, I'm feeling all this pressure to just like show up and make money and do all this because I want it so badly. But like, I like to show that level of, and I think that's the beauty of being an emotional. It's like you get to show other people the depth of your humility and grace of having those emotions. And I'm not afraid to show up on my story and be like, I'm fucking going through it this week. Yeah. I'm a human.
Exactly. Hello. And I think that's what it is too. I mean, I think that's a big thing with human design. Like, all of it's nuanced. Like, all of it has a double-edged sword. Okay, great. That I can, have this grace and charm and go in and no one knows what's going on. But then sometimes you come home at the end of the day and you're like, no one asked how I'm doing. Yes. Oh my God, do I not seem sad? Does no one see? Yeah. Does no one understand me? Do I not connect with people? So it's like, okay, you have to kind of, that's why, again, it's also important to be in tune with yourself. Yeah. So you're not going home and sitting there and saying that. Like, no, it's like, okay, what side of me do I want to show everyone? Okay, what environment am I in? Who can I open up to? Or like, do I need to just go and sit with myself and let me go feel my feels? Yeah.
And also, I think it's just so important, especially as, and for a non-emotional too, if you're listening to this, because I know a lot of you are non-emotional, like just to be expressing through your emotions what you need from another person. Yes. I remember when I was like, this was back in 2019 when I was working my corporate job. I think I had either quit by now or I was thinking about quitting. And no, this is after, maybe like a few months after. I was talking to one of my friends and I was like, I was in a black hole for months. I was so depressed. I cried every single day. And she was like, Becca, I had no idea. She's like, you just come off as so confident and strong. Like, I didn't know that you needed that validation. Yeah. And a part of me wanted to just kind of like go into defense mode and like attack back and be like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, of course I need you to like call me and check in on me and give me a hug and this and that. But like, also I know that I kind of, when I think of the gift of grace, it's like, I almost picture us with like this very like having like armor and like a shield on. Like, I know that I stand very confident and true in my emotions, but like, I've also made it very clear because again, I now have learned so much about myself and know who I am. I tell every single person in my life, like, I need you to acknowledge me. I need you to affirm me. Yes. Like, I need that.
Yeah. And I mean, it's important. I mean, it's fine. I feel like we had really good conversation after your masterclass the other night. Yeah. Me, Rebecca Paz in Dallas. We had great conversation, great dinner. And a lot of it's coming up here again, which is great to share with everyone. But we were speaking about this, like, oh, Matt, that's what it was. Okay, talking about boys. And Matt literally said to us, we need to be told. And it's like everyone in life needs to be told. Like, what you need. No one knows unless you tell them. Now, if I tell you once or twice or 3 times and you're still not listening, that's a whole other problem. Yeah. But people don't know. So you need to say, I need some help. I need a hug. I need you to affirm me. I need to know I'm doing great. I need to hear those things. And then, okay, people are going to listen to you and are going to be like, oh, shit, yes. Yeah. Okay, you're doing great. Oh, I noticed you're feeling a little down. Here's a hug. Like, what do you need? People, no one's just going to walk up to you one day and say, hey, what are you needing from me recently? Yeah. No.
So, I mean, it's up to you to share that. Like, when I was in Newport the other weekend and right before I left for that trip, I made the podcast episode about, like, processing. And I was feeling very, like, butthurt about what my friends weren't giving to me in my life. And so Jamie and I were like so introspective, and I was telling her this whole thing about how like it's just me out here doing this, and like I'm trying my very hardest, of course, because this is what I want my life to be, like beautiful and expansive and abundant, me just like running my own show. And she was just like, I had no idea that you needed like constant, not maybe constant, but just like, you know, when I launch a new endeavor, like my podcast, or I do this, like I want my friends to extend their acknowledgement to me.
Yeah.
But I realized that, you know, I hadn't really vocalized that to the people in my life, that like, this is what I need from you. And she, the next day was like, oh my God, I feel terrible about this. I was like, don't feel terrible, because one, first of all, I never told you that. And second of all, like everyone again has husbands and partners and friends. And it's like, so it's up to me, especially because I am so in tune with my emotions, like, and I am very true to what I tell people what I need, and like they deliver.
Yeah.
Which
like,
I think is awesome.
Exactly. Once they know, it's like, okay, now it's balls in your court. Like how are we going to proceed? And once people know, usually the good people in your life are receptive, and it's easy to be like, okay, let's give you some affirmations. Let's make sure you're doing great, and we're proud of you, and we're going to celebrate you. In whatever way that you need it.
Exactly. Okay, let's move on to your profile, which is a 5-1.
Yes.
I love talking about the profile, and I actually have a lot of 5-1s in my life. So really quickly, the profile is kind of like the Enneagram. If you are just now hearing about human design, you're like, oh, I'm just going to put this under the same category as the Enneagram. Please do not, because it's totally freaking different. But the Enneagram is very similar in human design to your profile. Profile is like your personality, your archetype. There are always 2 numbers. I kind of look at the 1 number as your sun sign. This is how you truly see yourself through your own eyes. The profile has to do with like how you like, I don't know, how you learn about life, and then how you get that information out to people, I guess you could say. So then the number on the outside, which is the second number, is kind of like your rising sign in astrology. So this is how other people see you. I say that it's like your rising sign because I've heard people say that your rising sign is kind of like the mask that you're wearing. So when people first meet you, this is like kind of how they think you are. So always 2 numbers. Kacy is a 5-1. So she has a transpersonal karma. So the 5 is like the hero, save the day type of energy. When I think of 5s, whether you have the 5 on the inside or the outside, these are people, and because Kacy has it on the inside, this is how she perceives herself. 5s are like, I think of like my dad. I haven't looked up his profile, but like my dad is a person that could literally talk to anyone. Like people gravitate towards him, because why they gravitate towards you is because of that hero save the day energy of like, she has the answer. Like she has a solution to what I'm looking for.
Yes.
And it's like, I also know that you perceive yourself this way. And I think, I mean, just because I know you so well, like you definitely give off this energy of like, Kacy, if we don't know what to do, like Kacy's gonna figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
But with that being said, it's kind of like a double-edged sword when you have a 5 in your profile and you're a generator. I mean, we all have people-pleasing tendencies, but especially the generator. Yeah. It's like people are constantly going to be going to you because they're gravitated towards you. Again, the generator, when you're doing what you fucking love in your life, which like is what you should be doing, when you are giving in to what makes you joyful and feel pleasurable and like excited and creative, it's like you are just like so sparkly. I kind of like envision this. So the 5 energy is like people are just gravitated towards your energy. So of course they want you to help them figure out what the fuck is going on with their life and their solution. So for you, it's like,
you're like, I don't want to make a fucking decision anymore.
Exactly.
Someone else do it because I always figure it out.
Yes. And you do say that. You're like, it's always me. I'm always the one to figure it out. So it's like, you cannot be the one to pick up every single phone call and save the day. You can't be the hero in everyone's story. Yes. You also can teach people and empower other people to save themselves.
Yes. Which we love. I feel like that's where we're at now. Yeah. That's where we're at now, teaching other people to save themselves. We spent way far too long saving everyone else. Yeah. And it does. It's like you can't pour into yourself anymore. I'm too busy. Yeah. Saving everyone. Doing everything. Yeah. And being miserable. Yeah. Not good. We want to use the energy we already have. Yeah. Help everyone else around us.
I was sharing this revelation with a client in a session last week and saying how she's a nurse, and she was like, you know, people people are like constantly asking me like, oh, you're so great at this. Can I get your help? Blah, blah, blah. She's like, you know, I have all these plans at work. Because a lot of time I have some downtime of like, I want to journal and read and look up research for this thing that I'm working on. And she was like, I look up and 2 hours have gone by and I'm doing someone else's job. And I'm like, you have to realize that, especially as a generator, you saying no to someone is actually allowing them to say yes to themselves, right? Because it's like, if you are just like the yes girl, like, yes, I'll do this for you. Yes, I'll help you do this. Like, you're not teaching anyone.
No.
Of course, there are times where it's like, you know, I am feeling called and this is something that I do want to help you with and I do kind of want to go save the day. But at the same time, it's like, you're actually empowering someone when you say, no, actually, I think you can figure this out all on your own. It's like, I kind of think about enabling. Like, we all have like friends and like there's people in our family that like their parents enable them and this and that. It's like, you're not doing them
a favor,
any type of favor.
Means. Yeah.
No.
People need to learn on their own too.
Yeah. So it's great that naturally, you know, you have this energy of like people just want to share with you because.
Yeah. But then it's like, okay, as this person, it's like, how can we help them? It doesn't have to be by doing so-and-so for them. It could be, you know, showing them, guiding them.
Yeah. I mean, 5s are the natural, like, teachers as well, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So then the 1 on the outside is what you are, you know, before you know about human design. You're not as conscious about this, but then when you learn about it, you're probably like, oh, this makes a lot of fucking sense. Like, like, I have a 2 on the outside, which is the hermit, and after I learned all about this, I was like, yeah, this is definitely me.
Yeah.
Definitely me. So really quickly, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but 1, 2, and 3 are how you best learn about life. Numbers 4, 5, and 6 is, okay, I've learned about life. How do I get this information out to people? So Kacy's 5 on the inside is like, she gets information out to literally, it doesn't need to be like a close-knit group of people. It can literally be like out to the masses. It can be to anyone. Now, the 1 is how you best learn about life. So it's funny because I'm a 6-2. She's a 5-1. 1 and 2 are complete opposites. So 1 is like, I learn my best about life through researching, through understanding, like knowing everything about whatever I'm fascinated about, which again attributes to your generator side. It's like whatever you're so fascinated about, so obsessed with in this given moment in time where you're positively responding to it. It's like, I want to learn every single thing about it because knowing all the facts makes me truly feel safe and secure in myself. And also it's like, that is why you have to look at, that is why people are coming to you for the answer, because they know that you've done the research.
So much.
Like, and I know that about you.
Yes. Yeah. If I speak to something, it's because I really do know what I'm talking about. I like to be right. I like to know what I'm doing. Yeah. So I will make sure I, you know, plan and prep to have all the knowledge, to be fully prepared. I think that's something about me too. Like, even with the knowledge, like, okay, preparation, like the way I prepare for things. I cook dinner for everyone Friday night, and it's like the way that I have everything set up and ready to go, because I'm like, then it's easier for me to just like do it and it's done. Yeah. Dinner's cooked. Called it a day. How do I prep for that? How do I make sure I'm fully prepared for this? Yeah. Because then I'll lose it if I don't, you know, if one little thing's missing. Yeah. Then it is like my world's flipped upside down.
Yeah, you just want to know all the information about it.
I love doing some research.
When I found out about human design, I was like, unless my kid has a 1 in their profile, they are not going to college. Because I'm a 2. I'm the complete opposite. Yeah. When it's so funny, because when I think about our dynamic,
I love learning.
I have a 3 too. So the 3 is like, you learn the best through, okay, I didn't go into this, but if you're a 6, the first 30 years of your life, you operate as a 3. So technically, I'm still in those first 30 years, so I'm operating as a 3-2. So the 2 is you learn just because you have this natural inner knowing, and 3 is you learn your best about life through life experience. So there's like one side of me, which is I just need to continuously throw myself into life, and that's how I learn best. But then there's also this 2 side of me, which you know this about me. Something will come across my path, and I'll be like, yep, I'll go try it. Yeah. And then I'll tell you about it, like the laser hair removal. This is so stupid, but I swear it took you like 6 months to finally do it, where I was just like, I'm just going to fucking try it out.
Yeah. I'm like, no, I asked all the questions.
Needed all the research. Yeah. But that's just how we are.
And I'm like, okay, let's go. Yeah.
So
I'm like, read everything like front cover to back cover, and then do more research on the book, and you're like the Spark Notes version. Like, give me the good shit, and that's all I need.
I'm also just like, I'll try it out. If I hate it, I won't do it.
Yeah. I'm like, no, I need to know everything first. I mean, I think about it like, what comes to mind for me is like, okay, we moved into our house. I have this giant bathtub in my bathroom. I'm not a big bath person. Mm-hmm. Although I have this giant bath, and I'm like, I need everything to be perfect for the first time I take a bath.
Yeah.
I mean, I've probably taken a bath. We've lived here now for 2 years. I've taken a bath maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
But I had to make sure the bath was clean. I had the bath tray. I had the candles. I had the bath salts. I had bubbles. I had a bath bomb. Well, can't have the bath bomb yet because I don't have the little pillow to go behind my head. It's like everything has to perfectly fall into place. And it's like every single little detail.
Yes.
All the details.
Yeah. All the details.
Yes. And I do. I love to learn. It's funny. I mean, I agree. I don't think anyone needs to go to college by any freaking means.
Yeah, no.
Not for everyone at all. Yeah, and save your fucking money. I don't know a single person that is doing what they did in college, but anyway, tangent. I love learning.
Yeah.
I love learning. I mean, Matthew right now sells education software, and we all talk about like, okay, I'm like, damn, I didn't get to take any fun classes in college. Like, I was so like on my grind. I'm like, I think the funnest class I took was criminology. And again, because it's like I'm researching something so completely different. Yeah. I went to school for education, so criminology couldn't be further from that. And I was like, this is so interesting. I'm so invested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think what's cool about all this is the more that you learn about yourself and the people in your life, it's like, now I understand you so well. Yeah. Where if like, not like things that you do piss me off by any means because they don't, but I'm like,
you have to understand.
But I understand because there are so many things that I will just throw myself into and jump into because that's
like,
who I am. But also for other people, like especially when I'm working with people, I'm like, some people like they just need to learn every single thing about it, and a lot of people come to me very apprehensive of like, I don't know if this is for me, and meanwhile I'm the person that I'm like,
just try it.
Then I'm like, just try it. I'll just throw myself into anything. I'm a guinea pig. But I have to realize that not a lot of people operate like that.
Like some people need more of that basis of information to then take this stuff. Yeah, like I mean that's definitely me.
Which is, now that I know that,
you're like, okay, makes freaking sense.
It makes so much sense. So that's her profile. Now I want to get into some gifts and things that we probably didn't go over in her first session.
Because
so
there's a lot of gifts, people.
There's a lot of gifts. So I'm looking at Kacy's chart, and out of the 9 energy centers, what she has defined is her solar plexus, which is the emotional center, her root center, which is the pressure center, her sacral, and then her spleen center, which is all about like instinct and fears, anxieties, all the things. So what I was looking at is your incarnation cross. So when we're looking at incarnation crosses, we're taking your basically 4 strongest, most prominent, potent gifts, and that's how we come up with your life theme. So your strongest gift is gate 50. So it's coming out of the spleen center. So the spleen center, having this defined, is like you have a very, very reliable instinct voice. This is like the oldest physical awareness center in the body. Instinct is just, it's something, and I know that we talked about this in the masterclass, like instinct is something that just drops in at any point in given time. It doesn't give you like, it's not like a gut feeling where I can constantly come back to, like, let's say you're dating a guy and you're like, okay, what is my gut feeling telling you? Yeah. Like it's constantly going to come back. The instinct is just right here, right now in this present moment. What am I responding to and what my instinct is? So your strongest gift is gift 50, which this is very interesting about us. We both have the same 3 gifts lit up in our spleen center. So gift 50 is all about like being this visionary for not only yourself. Like when I think of gift 50, it's I can see the highest possible vision and timeline for myself, but I can also see that for other people. Yeah. And I think that this really ties in very beautifully with your strongest sense, which we've talked about as inner vision. Yes. Like you... Yeah. To me, having these 2 together is like Kacy can just see the big picture vision for not only herself and her husband, but for like the people closest to her in her life. But with that being said, it's also like an instinct. So like it is up to you. Like you know that you are, of course, always, you know, striving to be in your highest alignment, let's say, when you are truly integrating, you know, what your chart is telling you. But I think especially like your strongest gift, like mine is gift 47, the gift of revelation. Like I know that like sometimes I sit here feeling pressure of like, what content do I make and how do I show up on social media? I'm like, I need to tap into, these were my fucking revelations that I had this week, and I talk and I share in these certain ways, and that's how I feel the closest to myself. I think for you, it's like, as long as you are, you know, consistently walking through life with like open energy, I'm gonna respond to what's happening to me, and I can just see this, I can see this bigger vision for anyone.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think that's something I feel like for me personally, what I would have to work on the most is my own. I feel like it's easy for me to see it for the people around me, for sure.
Yeah.
Like seeing that bigger picture for them. Have this vision of like my people and them being this best version of themselves is really easy for me to see.
Yeah.
I think for myself it's a little harder. Like I think I know what I can be. I have that vision.
Mm-hmm.
I think then it's like, okay, you get that pressure of, okay, like how do I get there? But then that's the problem, that we have to stay away from all that. Stay away from all that because it's all going to come.
When we were talking about like, okay, this is my problem. Like I can see the bigger vision for everyone else. It's like, okay, we have to remember that where we are open, we get to be a guide for other people. So I'm seeing that like it's very instinctual for you to see this highest timeline, for you to see the highest vision for someone else because your strongest sense is inner vision. With that being said, this is where it gets really cool, okay? You have a completely wide open G center, which is the identity center. It rules sense of self, sense of direction for yourself, sense of like, who am I, basically? You also have a wide open crown. Having an open crown is like pulling in inspiration. So it makes so much sense to me where, yes, this is like a natural instinct and my strongest gift to be able to see this bigger vision for other people because you're helping. Like maybe you don't always see that for yourself because having that open G center, a lot of people can sit here and question, I have it too, so I get this. It's like, well, where am I going in 3 years? What is my life purpose? What is my direction?
Yeah.
You know, so it makes so much sense why, yes, you are impacting people in this one way of like, I can help you see the bigger, greater vision, but not necessarily for myself. Because when you have a center open in white, it's not always easy for you to always be able to tap into that. So that's where you get to like very clearly step forward and help guide someone else. Like, this is the vision that I see for you.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think it's,
Teach those around me.
I mean, I was telling a friend of mine the other day, I'm like, gifts. Before I like launch something, like I mean, I know the way that I see things, but I just like come to you because I know that you have this like grand vision. You can just like kind of help me. I think if anything, you help me really refine my sense of expression because that's another thing. Kacy has a wide open throat and I have a defined throat. Mm-hmm. So like she really, really, I think very easily help me fine tune my communication process.
Yes.
Where it's like, okay, having a defined throat, I constantly have this ability to like have eyes on me, to be seen, to be heard, to like have my truth be shared with the world. But sometimes
I'm going to come and say, this is what you should share. This is what's, out of all these things, this is what's most important. This is what the people want and need to hear. Yeah. Like, what are you, okay, from all these things you can say, from all these things you can share, like, this is what we're trying to get across to these people.
Which
we're refining.
Yeah, we're refining. And also, I feel like the gift of discernment comes in there because you can just, like, sniff out, like, who's actually telling the truth here? You know? Like, whose voice, like, in your sense of self-expression, like, who's actually the honest one here? Who's the authentic one? And I feel like you do a really great job at that.
Yes. I would agree. I mean, that's something I remember in college. Like, okay, you're meeting so many people, and my husband and I went to school 2 hours away from each other. So now we're constantly both meeting people. And we're meeting new people. And we're meeting people that each other have met. And Matt would always say, oh, like I would go and meet some of Matt's people. And, you know, I'm hearing things from him. But then when I meet them, I'm like, no. Yeah. No. Not a good person. Nix them. Done. I'm like, you'll see. And it's kind of like, it makes me think of moms. Like when you're little and you're in middle school and your mom's like, she's a bitch. And 10 years later, you're like, oh, fuck, Mom was right. Mom was right. I feel like that's me. Like I could be that mom to people of like, you don't need them in your life. Like you learn it yourself, but I'll let you know now. Like we don't like the way they communicate. You deserve better. It's easy for me to see that for other people as well.
Like it all ties in. It's like I'm just like seeing things, seeing the bigger vision, like seeing who's right, who's wrong. Yeah. And like you are just the person that you could sit there in silence but just like know and see it and spot it.
It's funny too. I feel like these are the things where it's like, okay, we're talking about human design and then the astrology comes into play because I think that tends to my Scorpio mysterious side of me. Like I know I can sit there like that, like in silence. You have no idea what I'm thinking. I mean, no one around me does. I might be really fucking happy. You don't know. Yeah. You don't know what I'm doing.
Cover of grace. Yeah.
And it's like, I felt that way earlier. I mean, you're exemplary human of human design. Like when I hear that, I think of a Virgo. Like just dead on. Like, that is a Virgo who is, and because a lot of the times, I mean, I have so many Virgo women in my life, and like, they do a lot of the time come off as, I'm better than you. I don't feel any type of way around these women.
Yes.
Because I'm secure in myself.
So many people have said that to me.
Every single Virgo woman I know in my life, whether it's 2 of my best girlfriends, my mother-in-law, my grandmother, my husband's grandmother, these women they're just strong, badass fucking women.
Yeah.
But to insecure people, they just think they're better than everyone. Yeah, because they have pressure on them. So it's just funny, like, you know, playing into those. Like, it's like, everything connects. Like, what do you feel drawn to? So it's like your little gifts connect to the stars you're written in, and all the things. Yeah,
it all paints a bigger picture here.
Yes.
Now, on the opposite end of that, so Kacy's strongest conscious gift is this gift of, like, being a visionary. Now, the downside of that is sometimes we can, you know, harp on ourselves so much, right? It's like, what's the bigger vision? Like, how am I going to get X, Y, and Z? How am I going to be a success? But it's like, how do we just lift up? How do we harness what we're naturally so skilled and gifted at to help other people become this, like, great big vision? But it's also putting a lot of responsibility on us to live up to this, like, okay, but I can see the highest, you know, the highest being that you can be. Also, I mean, I've felt this way in so many relationships, especially with guys. It's like, I meet a guy and I'm like, I can see the potential.
Yes.
Like, I won't obviously get into it, but one guy who, probably the last guy that I quote unquote dated, I'm like, now that I'm out of it, I'm like, I didn't even like this guy. Like, I really didn't. Like, I wasn't that physically attracted to him, but like, he's been killing it in life, and he just has so much potential. And I'm like, that is such a natural gift of mine to just, like, see this potential.
Yeah.
But that can really bite you in the ass.
For sure. I mean, because you paint this image in your head of what you know these people can be, and when they don't live up to it, it's like, fuck, now what?
Yeah.
Like, is it me? Is it them? Did I make something up? Like, it's like kind of like being in a dream world of seeing this best version of people, which is great, but you're right. Like, the downfall of, okay, what if they don't live up to it?
Yeah.
And what if I don't live up to it myself?
Yeah. Also, remembering that these other people didn't ask for that. That's something that I always have to remind myself. I'm like, sure, Rebecca, you see all this potential in someone, but just because I see it doesn't mean that they asked for it.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's another thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Kacy's strongest conscious gift. Then on the other side of that is her strongest subconscious gift. So you have the gift of influence, which I like.
Oh my gosh, I said this to Dallas yesterday.
I tell you this all the time.
Natural influencer, yeah.
You are. I feel like you can barely post on your Instagram stories, then you post one picture, and I'm like, you could be an influencer.
Yeah.
You just could.
There was something the other day. I'm trying to think what it was. I literally said, I was like, I am just a natural born influencer. I don't know. It's little things.
So this is gift 31, and it's coming from the throat center, ironically.
It was my stupid cup. So sorry. Now it popped in my head.
Dallas
walked in with his little simple modern cup, because fuck my Stanley cup, because it's chipping and my handle's falling off. $55 later. Simple modern on Amazon, $30. I got my little cup. I love her. Dallas walked in the house yesterday. He said, I've been drinking so much water because I bought this cup. I said, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Stay hydrated.
So the gift of influence, it's cool because even though you don't have your throat defined, like, this is the type of person that you don't always need to be saying something, and your sense of self-expression doesn't need to always be through your voice, through words, like, through, like, see me, hear me.
Yeah.
But when you do show up in the ways that, like, truly mean something to you, where you find value, it's just, like, you need to know that you are just being a natural influencer. So it's, like, there's always a negative side to each of these gifts where it's like, okay, let me manipulate the situation because I know that I'm naturally influencing people. How do I want to get people, you know, to do things my way? And with that being said, also, again, it all ties into, like, the Scorpio mysterious energy. Like, you have 2 gifts coming out of your ego center. The ego center in human design is really, it's just the heart center. It's all about, like, desire and value. So you don't have your ego defined, but your 2 gifts are 26, which is like, you just know what to say to someone to make them do what you want to do. So in human design, we say that it's kind of like being a car salesman, which a lot of times they are just master manipulators. They know exactly what to say to make you to buy this damn car. Also, you have the gift of 51, which is like the need to impact other people. With the need of impact, also there's this level of, like, conscious competitiveness of like, I need to be number one.
Yep.
That comes out so many times.
I know. It happened. Wait,
oh my
that's
gosh.
funny. Back to fucking stupid ass happy hour. I never go to happy hour. Here I am with Matt's coworkers. We're sitting at this table and they're like, Kacy, you're going to play cornhole? I'm like, no, I'm fucking not, because I am not great at cornhole. So no, I'm not going to sit there because I'm not going to
be number one.
Yeah, then I'm not doing it. And I mean, even, most people who know me know that about me. I remember visiting my sister the last time and her friends were like, well, you have to play pool with us. And my sister's like, well, if I'm being honest, Kacy doesn't want to play because she's not great. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You are damn right.
Yeah.
I'll go have fun, though.
In situations like that, I'm like, I don't even give a fuck. I'm like, I don't care about winning.
Yeah.
I also just, the exemplary human, again, if I'm like, I don't like to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
I won't do karaoke. I won't ride on a bull unless it's just like me and maybe a few of us. Like, no, I don't like, no.
Yeah.
But
I'll go do it.
Yeah. For sure.
And I mean, I definitely have an adventurous side to myself as well. So yes, I'm like, let's do it.
So yeah, that's gift 31. You also just, some of your other really strong, potent gifts are, you just have this like natural knack of, it's like bond making, communion. I think that's just like such a natural thing for you. Just bringing people together, the sense of communion.
Friends are friends now.
Yeah, all your friends are friends.
I get to live my best life. Everyone's friends. It's great.
But also like you coming from, that's gift 59, but gift 29 is like loving being involved with other people. It's like you really want to get your hands dirty. You want to be like in the situation. You want to be like, let me help you. Like I feel like that's also why I come to you, because I know that like you want to be involved.
Yes.
And you want to be a part of it.
And I like, you know what I like that, okay, you're saying you come to me. I might not necessarily be coming to you. And I think that's something that Dallas and I talk about a lot of the time too, is like, I feel like that's what we need from each other too. It's like, but I need, like, I know he needs that from me. Mm-hmm. Okay, back to projector and generator energy too. So it's like knowing what the people around you, like feeding into their gifts. Like you're like, okay, I know Kacy has that gift, so I'm going to use it to my advantage as well. And then it's a win-win, because it's like you get what you need and I'm nurturing you, and then that makes me feel good. Like I love being that person for my people, for sure.
But yeah, it goes back to like again, it all ties back to expressing and stating your needs, but like that's where my very natural manifestor energy comes in. Like we talk about this with Paz as well. Like Paz, who's Kacy's best friend, who's also one of my very close friends as well. Like we will initiate and like invite Kacy to all these things, because you won't always do that.
Yeah.
But then also, once we give you that initiation, you're like, yeah, I want to be involved.
Yeah.
Like at my event, you're like, like, what can I do? How can I help you? And I'm like, oh, okay, here you go.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm coming to your event, but I'm like I'm working it for you. Like, how can I help? What can I do? I mean, that's, okay, Paz's birthday's in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, let's make a save the date. What kind of birthday cake do you want? Who are we inviting? Like, let's get the fucking ball rolling. But I need her to tell me, okay, for my birthday, this is what we're doing. I'm like, okay, and I'll handle the rest. Okay, Rebecca, your event's Monday night? Okay, bam. Pictures, photo shoot, papers, pens, business cards.
Yes. It's kind of like you just need someone to kind of like
light the fire
a little bit. Give you the first
I need the starter.
Step.
And then I am like, okay,
and then you're like, I'm
build
good.
This shit. Yeah.
Totally.
That little push.
Yeah. Which is just like what I love about you.
Yes.
I'm like, sure, I can just sit back now because Kacy's going to do everything for me.
Like, I got this. Let's go. Let's
go. I love it. Okay, let's talk about some of your channels. So channel 1949, which is what makes you an emotional authority.
Okay.
So 19 is this gift of sensing what people need. So you have this natural ability to, I know what you need before you even know that you need it.
Yeah.
And that attributes to every different type of level. So spiritually, physically, emotionally.
Yes.
It's tied up to your gift of altruism. So we call this the channel of the sensitive. It's like you just have this, and again, it's, so 19 is this gift of sensing people's needs. It's coming from the pressure center. So it's like you maybe intrinsically feel like I'm constantly feeling pressure to give people what they need. But coming from your emotional center is like, because I just care about the greater human kind. You know, I think about like you as a friend, you as a teacher. It's like you just know, there's so many times where like the morning of a launch of something that I'm doing, you'll send me this text because you know that this is what I need. Like even before I tell you or I announce it, you just know.
Yes. I mean, I think that's something I love to do for the people around me. Yeah. It's like, okay, what do they need and how can I provide it for them? Yeah, you're right. I do. I'm like planning in my head ahead of time. Mm-hmm. Like, I see this coming for them. This is what I need to do for these people.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
Or get them to do it for themselves. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I want to talk about channel 5734. So I'm going to read some of this information out verbatim because when I go over my human design knowledge, I like to bring in elements from different people that I've learned from, and I like to infuse some gene keys. So 3457 it's tying up gift 34, which is it's like the gift of enthusiasm. It's coming from the sacral center, so it's all about like generating. And then 57 is it's the gift of the now. So this is literally called like the gift of intuition, which is really cool. So on one flip side, because every gift coming from the spleen center, you have a very strong attunement, but you also have a very, very strong fear. On one end, 57 is this fear of future tripping, this fear of like, what is the future going to hold for me? I have no fucking idea. Especially when you have your G center undefined, it's like double whammy. And your crown center undefined, you're like, whoa, what's my next step going to look like in life? I don't even know.
Yeah.
But it's surrendering to this gift of, I have everything in this present moment. It's like, you don't necessarily need the experience, because in that present moment, you are going to be given every single possible thing that you need, basically. So it's tied up to 34. How comforting. I know. So
how comforting, yeah.
So 3457 is called the channel of power, the ability to figure out how to do just about anything. So I want to read you both of these gifts. So gate 34 is called the gift of power. This gate, or gift, it's all the same, is designed to be independent and self-centered. This gift holds a pure vitality that comes out when given something to respond to. This gift is self-empowering. It is here to get lost in the creative process and works at a very rapid pace. So that ties in with having this gift of enthusiasm. Naturally, as a generator, when you are engaging in things that you love, that you feel so lit up by, it's like, where are you maybe holding yourself back from allowing yourself to shine, from allowing yourself to be like so self-centered and so independent, and like, this is what I'm pouring my heart and soul into because I'm responding to it in a positive way. Again, this is coming from the sacral center. And then 57 is the gift of intuition, which is, this gift is highly intuitive, and those who have this gift are very in touch with their survival skills. Mm-hmm. This gift is not designed to be influenced by others, and this may manifest as having selective hearing. I have such selective hearing, it's not even funny.
Same.
When focused on the present, you can eliminate any fear of the future or unknown. So together, let me go back to what this channel is called. It's the channel of power, the ability to figure out how to do just about anything. I'm like, how freaking powerful is that?
Yeah. 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 I have no other words. Because it's powerful. I mean, I can do anything.
Yeah. Okay. But I also feel like...
And like having faith in it. Trusting that.
Yeah, having really faith in it.
Is, because you can future trip. I mean, bad. That's the biggest negative. It's like, oh my gosh, what's coming next? Where am I going? How do I get there?
Yeah.
Okay, I see this for myself. Well, do I see this for myself? Because right now I don't. But we don't need to get into all that. We can just, trust it and like, okay, I like that. Of like, if I'm at peace, if I'm aligned in this moment, then like, so is everything else to come.
Yeah. And I feel like when I'm looking at, like, you obviously, not obviously, but just because I know you so well on a very intimate level, like, I know that you show up and really live out a lot of these gifts. But I feel like, if anything, like, this channel specifically, which is so powerful for you, like, I'm just excited for that time to come when, like I say this to my friends all the time. Like, of course, I urge all my friends, like, quit your job if you're unhappy. Like, go for this if you're feeling called to it. Like, you came to me a few weeks ago. Like, I think I'm interested in this and I want to go for it. Like, I am just excited to see, this time in your life where something comes across your path and you're like, kind of like, fuck all you guys, I'm going all in on this, and like, I can do it. Like, I see the vision, and I have this gift of like knowing exactly what I need in the now, and just like, again, being so self-centered and allowing yourself to just give your all to it.
And I love that, because I think that's like my next step of life is like, okay, this is so powerful, so how am I like harnessing this energy and using it to guide me through all these next steps, because that's I feel like what I've been searching for and what I've been longing for. And I think it's a big, like, you're a big inspiration to me for that, because I do say that, and that's something, like, you know, I'll talk with Matt about, or me and Paz will talk about. We're like, oh my gosh, look at Rebecca, like, she's living in her power. Like, you are doing exactly what you want to be doing, and it's playing out all the ways it needs to. So I'm like, when am I going to find the thing that lights me up so fucking badly that, I can put all my eggs in one basket and be like, this is what I'm doing, and I love what I'm doing, and I don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks, because I feel great about it. So it's like, you know, I feel like I'm getting there. Yeah. So I am also so excited to be in that power, because I am an independent person, and I love that about myself. And I think, you know, since you and I first met, you and I are like, we have to change this negative connotation of the word selfish, because you have to be selfish. You have to pour into yourself to be able to use your gifts for other people. So I agree. Yeah. I'm ready for that. I'm ready to have that powerful power in my life.
But I think it also just is a graceful reminder of, like, this is not, like, something that you can search for, right? Like, I talk about it all the time. The position where I'm at right now, I mean, I wake up every day, and of course it's like question mark after question mark. How am I gonna get the clients, and how's the money gonna come in, this and that? But at the end of the day, it's like, I fucking love what I do with every ounce of my being, and I know that I'm on the path. But it also took a long fucking time to get here, right? So it's like, it wasn't by me searching and searching and searching. It was me just really honing in on my generator power and everything that I positively responded to in my life, that something or someone came across my path, and I was like, this feels like a fuck I'm going to give my all to it.
That's what I'm going to follow.
Guess what? A lot of things ended up changing, and I pivoted, but I'm now here. So it's just like a great reminder, because a lot of generators especially are like, what's the next thing? Why aren't I feeling fulfilled? I'm like, my biggest piece of advice to you, and you do not need to have a reading with me for you to hear this, but it's to just keep on showing up. You show up every single day. You show up for the yeses, the things that are no. You get them out of your life. It doesn't need to be like an all or nothing situation, but you slowly start to weed those things out, and you just keep on giving yourself space, because guess what? There will be a day when something or someone comes across your path, and it's like, and I think you're already doing this in aspects of your life, with your friends, with the things that you help us on. So it's not like, oh my God, like there's nothing going on for me in my life. Yeah. You know, you're pouring into all of these gifts.
And then the rest will come.
It's just like, this is a journey, and we have to.
And there's no timeline.
I mean, we make our own timeline.
I feel like that's what it is, you know, of course, everyone has pressure on them. Everyone has pressure in life, but it's having that faith in being in tune with yourself to say, like, okay, well, it's coming. Like, you know, these obstacles are opportunities. The good things are going to, you know, lead us to where we need to be. So it's not like, oh my gosh, where will I be in 2 years? It's like, oh my God, where am I going to be in 2 years?
Yeah.
Like, how cool. Like,
it's fun.
I'll get somewhere even cooler. I'll be doing something completely different, or I'll be loving life. It's like, I don't know. It's all a journey.
It is all a journey.
It'll be great.
And the unknown, it gets more fun the more that you just accept. Like, life is like a mystery box. It really is. You don't know what you're going to get. And even, I mean, I mentioned this at the beginning of the episode. When I step into every day of like, this is what's going to happen, these are my expectations, there's no room for miracles. There's no room for things and people to come across my path where they can change your entire trajectory. I mean, had we not had met that one day in Goriana, it's like, who knows if I would still be living here? Who knows?
Same.
It's crazy. So you
really never know.
Yeah, I hope if you took away anything, obviously we deep dive onto Kacy's chart, but just allow yourself to be open and show up. And that's the beauty of this system, is it's really not about, okay, put me in a box, I'm a 5/1, I'm an emotional generator. Like, we're beautiful, soulful human beings. It's just like,
I am a miracle.
Let's get to really, really, really understand ourselves so that we can show up in the best way, because there's never this one moment in life where it's like, I've hit alignment, everything is perfect and beautiful and amazing. This is just a journey.
It's life.
Well, I love it.
That was great.
Did you get what you needed?
Yes. Got a little fire lit up. We're ready to go. Ready to keep on.
Love that.
keep it on.
I mean, we could talk so much longer about, you know.
So much.
Okay, maybe one last thing I'll end on is, so this doesn't show up, I think, on where you're looking at your chart.
Okay.
But when we're looking at the gifts in human design, there's different astrological placements, and they all basically, like, all of the gifts represent something different, which I don't go into in the first session because it's just, like, way too much information. But something that I talk about a lot is your Pluto sign. So consciously and subconsciously, your Pluto's in 34, which is this gift coming from the sacral sign that we just talked about. This like gift of power, like self-empowerment, being independent, being self-centered.
Cool.
Just like truly allowing yourself to shine. And I think it's just being like so enraptured in what you're doing. Again, it's like this is kind of Pluto is the theme that you're going to be playing with for like all throughout your life. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just like, again, it's going back to, okay, it doesn't need to be like, what's the end all be all? What's my purpose in life? Because you're never going to figure that out. That just doesn't come naturally to you. But I think it's more about, okay, how can I show up in each season of my life and just be open and just respond to whatever is coming to me and just pour myself into what is lighting me up. It doesn't need to be, this is the end all be all. This is my job forever. This is going to make me $1 million. It's like, what is making me feel so fulfilled and so happy and so joyful? Because especially as a generator with an open G center, when it comes to your career and your job, it's like you need to allow your excitement and your pleasure to be the driving compass when it comes to your career. Yeah. Like it just has to be. It can't be based on like, it's very different from being driven by the ego in human design, which is like, this is what I very deeply desire and value. It's like, what is making you so excited? You can't rely on willpower. You can't rely on all these other things. Yeah. What is making you feel joyful?
Which is comforting.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, scary, of course, as I feel like, you know, a lot of it is like, okay, how am I going to incorporate this in my life? And oh my God, like, just go with what excites me. But it's like, no, it's so comforting to be like, okay, well, no matter what I'm doing, as long as I'm excited and I feel good about it, then I am the best version of myself. Yeah. So that's all that it is. It's like, it's so, it is so simple.
It is so simple. Stop searching. And that's the thing about this is, yes, I could talk for days about human design. We can go into all your gifts and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But like, it really can be that simple. Yeah. Especially as like, again, people, you know your energy type, you know your strategy. You've got a lot of the groundwork covered. Like, does it make you feel really lit up inside? If yes, fucking go for it. If not, don't do it.
Cut it off.
Like, why are we all trying to sit here and rationalize everything and make it so, like, make it make sense in our mind and make things work.
Make it not work. It's,
no.
Just trust.
Just trust.
In yourself. Like, you do. You know best. You know what you need.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, this was fun.
This was great. A little refresher, going a little deeper.
Yes. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, will probably have a separate episode going over like the terminology about human design, but I thought it would be fun to do a little refresher for her, especially because it was such a long time ago that we did Kacy's first reading. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you again for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for chatting with me.
She'll be back soon.
Great as always.
Clearly you guys love having her on, which, you know,
always
so fun for me. But I think that's all that we have for you. Thank you guys so much for listening, for tuning in to the Joyride podcast, and I will see you in the next one.